gentler alternative to these institutions. At South Darenth, a series of individual family-run homes, each housing no more than 30 boys, were clustered together on a peaceful site in the Kent countryside. With their strong focus on education and religious instruction, the Farningham homes prepared young men like Cyril Everett to be upstanding and self-sufficient members of Victorian society.
I searched through the information that the old boys have here, and I found a book, the log book of the homes for 1896,
right,
which does have a couple of references. Your grandfather, there he is.
Webster, Hill and Everett received their prizes for their...
For scripture.
For scripture?
Yep.
For scripture.
So it certainly shows that he was academically inclined. We have some further information about Cyril's stay in the homes in this volume of Old Boys' journals. So here's Cyril coming back to the Old Boys' Day, and there is in fact this photograph of the Old Boys' Day group, 1905.
We need a microscope.
We need a microscope. I've blown up a version. It would be interesting if you were able to see any resemblance.
This one looks like it could be him.
Yes. I think the fact that Cyril came back for the Old Boys' Day, this had been his home.
Yes,
since he was 3 years old. And I know some of the old boys, who are still members of the Old Boys Association, did have a great deal of affection for the place.
So it couldn't have been that bad.
Yeah.
Malcolm, what more can I find about how my grandfather came to be here in the first place?
We were fortunate enough to find one of the original case books which record the admission of every boy to the homes.
Oh my goodness.
If we look on page 52...
There he is.
There he is.
Number 2202, name in full, Cyril Frederick Cunningham Everett. Year and exact date of birth, 12th of June 1886. So, what date is this? 20th?
This is the date the application was received.
1889. So he's 3 years, nearly 3 years old. As to the parents, is father alive? If so, state address. Chief, mate, merchant service. What does that mean?
It means he was a seaman.
Seaman. Oh my God. I always thought he was a stockbroker. But he was chief mate, merchant service. Mother alive, if so, state address. 20 Porchester Terrace, Hyde Park. So how did she meet a chief mate in the merchant navy?
Well, I'm afraid there's nothing in here that can tell us that.
And who was she? Can we find that? I can't find that out either, probably. Was the boy born in lawful wedlock? Yes. Give information so that the character, circumstances, etc. of the boy. Father deserted and not heard of for some time. How fascinating. The father deserted. Well, presumably, I suppose what's happened is some young girl from Porchester Terrace came across a sexy chief mate and got in the family way.
Who knows?
This was the last snap of any type of family existence that he might have had. Can you imagine being brought here, aged nearly 3, you're a little boy and you've got full faculties going and memory, and being dropped off in a carbolic smelling dormitory with three other 3-year-olds and unfamiliar circumstances and tons of rowdy boys around. It must have been absolutely heartbreaking. The first thing that seems to be a bit of a myth was that his father was a wealthy stockbroker who lived in Piccadilly. That seems like a child's fantasy. He was a first mate, a seaman, a navvy. Who knows what his wife was? I would imagine she worked in the house that she lived in. That's my guess. but I think we must find this out.
Rupert's back home in London. To find out who his grandfather Cyril's parents were, he's ordered a copy of Cyril's birth certificate.
It's a certified copy of an entry of birth. Now, 12th of June 1886, Cyril Frederick Cunningham Everett, son of Frederick Everett, Georgina Everett, formerly Teague. Right, so those are his parents, Frederick Everett and Georgina Teague.
Rupert's also got a copy of Cyril's marriage certificate, giving him further information about Cyril's father.
Now the marriage certificate. The 2nd of June 1919, Cyril Frederick Cunningham Everett, bachelor, civil servant, father's name and surname, Frederick William Cunningham Everett, deceased, Frederick Everett, on the 2nd of June 1919, is dead. He is dead.
Rupert has discovered that his grandfather Cyril's parents were Frederick Everett, a sailor who died in 1919, and Georgina Teague.
I'm going back to the 1881 England census to see if I can find Georgina Teague, Cyril's mother. And here we are, we've got 3 potential Georgina Teagues. Can't be this one because she's married, so Teague's her married name. There's one Georgina Teague, born about 1864, so that would mean she'd be about 21 when she started having Cyril. I'm going to click on her, view her record. Georgina Teague, 17 in 1864, Marylebone, and her occupation is a dressmaker, already aged 17. So that's the type of people they were. Georgina was a little dressmaker, a little seamstress. Now I'm going to look for Georgina Teague as Georgina Everett in the 1891 census. Your search for Georgina Everett returned no matches. How extraordinary. Let me just try Teague. Search for Georgina Teague, returned no matches. What it seems here, and I don't know whether no trace does officially mean dead or not, or maybe it just means no trace. It means that the last official thing she did was the signing away of Cyril. That's the last trace we have of her.
With no further record of either a Georgina Teague or a Georgina Everett, Rupert cannot take his search for Cyril's mother any further. The only way left to trace Cyril's ancestry is to go through his father, the sailor Frederick Everett.
There's a series of reactions that the action of Cyril's mother and father, of putting him in a home, has had right until today. It gave my father in his life a sense of constraint about society. He was very, very correct, my father, and I think it was because he knew about this and that he was all the more eager to be an upstanding, connected member of society. And that had its